Since 1988, when the Tokyo Dome went up, it's seen a lot of baseball as we welcome you to the 2025 Tokyo Series on Fox, presented by Guggenheim. This stadium, though, may not have ever seen anything like this. Mets and Cubs 2000, the first game ever for Major League Baseball at the Tokyo Dome. But today, the binoculars are out, the signs are beautiful, and the fans are ready to celebrate national heroes galore as Major League Baseball game number 1 is right now. 2 Japanese natives on the mound for the Cubs: Shota Imanaga, Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. Off a marvelous rookie season, Seiya Suzuki, who's become entrenched in the Cubs lineup, but the camera phones are out for one guy. This entrance will be cherished in video for a long, long while. Shohei Ohtani returns home in a Dodger uniform as a hero. He's the first player in Major League Baseball history 50-50, second player to win the MVP in both leagues, and the 13th player since '69 MVP World Series in the same season. Jason Benetti, AJ Pierzynski along with you. And AJ, this is one of those special days that everybody's going to say they had a ticket to in Japan, right?
All of Japan will say they were at this game. These 2 games, actually, Jason. And what else can you say about Shohei Ohtani except he's the greatest player in the world? He's from Japan. This is his homecoming. 50-50, the first guy, an MVP, a World Series. This is what everyone came to see, the person they came to see, and it helps that there's 2 natural-born Japanese guys starting on the mound for both teams.
You see Seiya Suzuki on the way in for the Cubs, but the smiles on the faces of Ohtani and Suzuki with the kids, knowing that they, one day a long while ago, were exactly in that situation. And the Cubs trying to bolster their offense with Kyle Tucker, who came over from the Astros, and he could put up big numbers at Wrigley Field, AJ.
Well, this is the guy the Cubs were looking for the last couple of years, a guy that can hit in the middle of the lineup. He's left-handed, but he has power, Jason. Power is what the Cubs have been missing. Left-handed power in Wrigley Field is invaluable. You see the numbers. You see the World Series he's won with the Astros. They went out and acquired him for the exact reason, to hit in the middle of the lineup and to hit home runs.
Cubs trying to bounce back from last year and make it to the postseason. MLB has even combined with Pokemon to make sure that Pikachu can be at the game for the Cubs and for the Dodgers. We're not choosing sides if we are Pokemon. It is a beautiful celebration of the culture of Japan and of Major League Baseball intertwined together. First pitch just around the corner from Tokyo.
Been better than advertised.
I never see that many cameras.
When you have Shohei on your team, it just feels like you're a part of the Beatles.
There's a lot of smiles, jumping up and down.
He's just proving that he's better than everyone else.
And that goes for Shohei Ohtani stateside, but then it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled in Japan, in his home nation. Billboards, some say, on basically every block, but this is the agriculture version of Shohei Ohtani. It is a remarkable likeness in the field there, by the way. Man, Shohei Ohtani, one of a number of locals in this game. Seiya Suzuki from not far away from the Tokyo Dome in Arakawa, and the Dodgers pitchers certainly will see Roki Sasaki as well, but Yamamoto on the mound against Imanaga, and it will be a fascinating spectacle for Major League Baseball. First pitch from downtown Tokyo is coming up next. Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani, they're not going to have to wait very long. He is leading off for the Dodgers. There was a late lineup change, officially left rib discomfort for Freddie Freeman, who is out of the lineup. He was initially in the 3 spot, so he's scratched. Hernandez moves up to 3. Michael Conforto was not scheduled to be in the lineup. He moves into the 7 spot, and you see down at the bottom there, Mookie Betts. This was anticipated the past couple of days. He is out with illness, but AJ, that was basically all last year for the Dodgers. You felt like that they had guys in and out of the lineup. Their pitching staff got decimated for a while, and they still figured it out.
That's what the Dodgers do. They have the deepest organization in baseball. They can cover for people, and they are able to build depth, lineup, and pitching-wise.
And eventually they ended up in a World Series title. They won 98 games in the regular season. And there you see on the mound the 31-year-old Shota Imanaga, who was outstanding for the Cubs last year and getting a return home to begin his second season.
Shota Imanaga is basically a two-pitch guy, but you're right, 15-3 last year with under a 3 ERA, Jason. He was kind of a surprise. People, when he came over to the Cubs, didn't know if he was going to be great, if he was going to be okay, or if he was going to be a clunker for the Cubs, but he turned out to be great. Two-pitch guy, really, just a fastball and a splitter. He'll elevate the fastball, but returning home, I'm sure he's amped up. He gets to face that guy right away.
Shohei Ohtani very famously had this list of goals when he was very young, and he had year by year basically what he was going to do, but little did he know, because you can't anticipate something like this, it's very results-based, that he would, coming off a World Series title, get to be maybe the sports hero of a nation, possibly of all time, as he stands in this batter's box. And I think about what Ichiro said when he played in Japan to start the year more than a decade ago. He said this game in the Tokyo series was as nervous as he's ever been. And Shohei Ohtani doesn't show nerves, but this is a big moment for him. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. And facing his native countryman in Imanaga.
Imanaga against Ohtani. First pitch called a strike. Bill Miller has the plate, and we are off and running with the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Saw the numbers for Imanaga. Ohtani hit that home run in exhibition play a couple of days ago that set the crowd into a frenzy, as it's a ball and a strike from Imanaga. And some discussion for Imanaga about being more of a north-south pitcher this year, considering all the success he had going east-west in his native country before he got to the United States, and now trying to develop even further. As a ground ball to second to some groans from the crowd, and John Birdie handles that bouncing ball from Ohtani for the first out of the Major League Baseball season. Isn't it nice to have baseball back, AJ?
It is, and I am actually, Jason, going to say this, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I am shocked he didn't get a hit or do something really cool that just would have made the Tokyo Dome go crazy. Because going into this game, you just have a feeling that Shohei's going to do something for the fans.
He always has that in him, right? You know, you think about the World Baseball Classic, Ohtani versus Trout, and what that brought the baseball world. He's got a couple at bats left, and I'm sure there will be some flair before the day is done as Tommy Edman swings through that nasty splitter from Imanaga.
Well, that's the pitch. He elevates fastballs. You mentioned him throwing north and south. He is a north and south pitcher. Fastballs up, splits down.
Popped up on the fastball to the right side of the infield, and Bush makes the catch for out number 2. Imanaga kind of, you know, we saw him a bunch last year, AJ, you and I did. He's got that disappearing fastball in the strike zone.
What's the high spin rate, Jason? You hear all the analytics talk about spin rates. He's the perfect example. He throws from a lower arm angle. He spins it extremely well. It gets on top of the hitters, and they have a hard time getting on top of the ball to not pop it up like we just saw from Tommy Edman.
So how do you deal with that as a hitter?
You try to get him down, which is easier said than done because he throws so many balls up. Because when you look down, though, it brings his split into play, which is his real out pitch.
And then the assortment of extracurricular pitches after that. He's got, you know, he and Yamamoto with basically 8 pitches, as you see the sweeper for 8%, the changeup, and there's a bunch of mixing in pitches. But you said it, he's a fastball split pitcher, basically.
Yeah, the other ones are for show. He gets them with fastballs and splits, fastballs up, and then a split down.
Oh, does he? There it is. Strike 3, exactly as planned. Imanaga, a 1-2-3 first. Yamamoto, 26-year-old 2.3 ERA. We saw him bounce back beautifully in the postseason after a rough start in his first go-around in the postseason, and beloved by his Dodger teammates. He is back home. He will face Ian Happ to start the ball game. We have a PitchCom issue. So that's how you know. Now they're going to say, well, he said PitchCom issue, but Bill Miller said it was too late in the pitch timer. So now it is a ball and no strike. So that is an automatic ball call by Bill Miller. And you see Will Smith, the catcher, just put his hands in the air, the universal sign for, well, I tried. And now they're going to time call to deal with the PitchCom issue. But you have evidently, you know, you have to have the electronics break at the right time to not get penalized.
I did not have on the first pitch of the Dodger season after winning a World Series a ball on a pitch clock violation with Will Smith just throwing his hands up saying, I don't know what else I can do here.
I tried. He looked at him like to say, I told Bill, but there it is.
Jason, shouldn't the umpire give him a little discretion? It's the first pitch of the game. I mean, come on. Can we not get a little leeway here?
I would think so, and you're an entire ocean away from either team's home stadium, so there might be, you know, one or two issues with technology possibly, but it's 2-0 for Yamamoto facing Ian Happ, such a stalwart in the Cubs lineup, and now that's low with a fastball. 3-0 for Happ, who is one of the most patient guys in baseball anyway. In a fastball for a strike. As you watch Yamamoto, the breaking ball obviously is a key. What do you like about his arsenal, AJ?
Well, his velo. His velo is the key. You see 97, 98. And for him, the way he throws, no leg kick, he kind of jumps at hitters. You see 98 painted down in a way right there. It's nice. But we mentioned Imanaga fastball splitter. Yes, Yamamoto is also a fastball splitter. That was his pitch last year. Yes, he throws 7 different pitches, but mainly fastball split. He throws a curveball and a slider. But control, he's got to have the control. He's got to be careful first pitch.
He missed outside. The first pitch was actually ball 2, which led to the walk for Ian Happ. Then you see Suzuki thereafter. Kyle Tucker, the cornerstone acquisition. Matt Shaw making his major league debut. The former Maryland Terrapin gets his first MLB time in Japan. High hopes for Pete Crow Armstrong to develop offensively with his defensive prowess, as well as Suzuki stands in his home country facing Yamamoto, and he takes a rip at the first pitch.
Well, that's a key for the Cubs. Last year, Yamamoto only gave up 7 home runs. Well, 6 of them were on the first pitch. And if you remember his first start last year in Korea for the Dodgers, the Padres jumped him early. Got fastballs early, didn't want to get to the off speed.
Certainly a concern last year. There you see the split grip and a ball low. But Seiya Suzuki has talked extensively this week about getting to come home and the wonderful reception he's received. He gets sawed off. That's not the greatest reception from his countryman Yamamoto, who got into his kitchen in a big way.
That was nasty. That just ate him up. That ball ran in 97. And that is, when you talk about getting in somebody's kitchen, 2-seamer, ball runs in. That's the horizontal break that everyone's looking for on a sinker. Just ate him up.
So 1 down for Kyle Tucker, who comes over from the Astros, as we talked about, and he and his family have had extensive experience playing overseas. His brother Preston became a cult hero in South Korea in 2020 for his power. He put up more than 30 home runs and won himself a car by hitting an automobile with a home run while playing for the Kia Tigers in the KBO. As now Bill Miller doing some more administration, telling Yamamoto to wait until Tucker's in the box. Happ over at first, 1 down. It's a strike. It's a firm fastball, and when it's pinpoint, it is dangerous.
Everything is dangerous about him. Everything that he throws And the key for him is that down pitch. You see how down with angle makes it hard to swing at because it looks like it's low and then it just stays on plane.
Off the splitter, a tapper back to the mound, and Yamamoto, discretion the better part of valor there. He'll throw to first and get the out, so 2 gone.
See how he threw the pitch before, Jason, down at 97? Tucker took it, and then the next one he throws the splitter off of it in almost the exact same spot, and you get weak contact. When people talk about tunneling and throwing from the same spot, that is exactly what Yamamoto did to Kyle Tucker right there.
He got himself a weak ground ball, and here is Bush, the former Dodger first-round pick. That splitter coming in at 93. I mean, that's as hot as that splitter will get for him. It averaged 90 last year.
But also notice how the swings are from the Cubs. It's 93, but they're swinging at it like it's 73 because it's diving out of the strike zone.
Oh, man, that was even more of a turbo splitter.
That's a great view of the turbo splitter.
Now what off of that? If you're Bush, where is your mind?
But looking for another split. You're trying to get it up, but it starts in the zone and just dives. It's so hard to lay off of.
0-2 from Yamamoto, and that one he lays off at 94.
See, that one started. See, Jason, that one started out of the strike zone. And he got a huge grunt from Yamamoto. He wanted that one to strike out to end the inning. But that one started out of the zone. It was an easy take for Bush.
1-2. Well, he came with a fastball, and Bush got jammed a little bit. Into center field it goes to retire the side. Pages puts it away. We're scoreless. At 7:25 p.m. Tokyo time, Major League Baseball season is underway. Opening day for the rest of the league coming up next week. But as Major League Baseball's done so many times, the opening of the season in Japan is see Ohtani on the bench and Yamamoto completing the bottom of the first inning to big smiles from Ohtani. But you mentioned it, Yamamoto, you could hear how much he wanted that strikeout, and there is a high level of honor and care for the game in Japan, as in a number of countries. But watching Japan during the Olympics and that Samurai Japan team and how much care they have for the intricate details of the game of baseball as a country, and how much care they have for the history of the game in their own country. This is a very important day for so many guys on both sides.
Absolutely.
2 misses, 3-2.
And I've been to Japan. I played over in Japan in 2002, Jason, in the Tokyo Dome. And the spirit and the energy these fans bring is completely different than what it is in the United States. And this is a huge moment, not only for these Japanese stars, but for Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball continues to try to grow the game internationally, and these games like this, they matter to these fans. And then to get to see Imanaga and Yamamoto pitch against each other on opening day, it's a thrill.
Three-two, misses, ball 4. What did you notice from your experience when you were playing there? What brought you that conclusion, AJ, about the country and the love for baseball?
Well, even for batting practice, it was packed. They have cheerleaders. They have their cheer for each guy that came up for the Japanese all-star team that we played against. Everywhere you went, there was people wanting to take pictures of Barry Bonds and Jason Giambi, some of the guys I got to play with. Ichiro's first trip back to Japan as a member of the MLB All-Star team in 2002. So just a different feeling. And let me say this, Jason, they're so polite. They cheer everything. You make it out, they cheer you. You're like, wow, this is like St. Louis.
Well, you fit in great. You cheer everybody. 1-1 on Max Muncy. How about this note from Sarah Langs of Major League Baseball Research? Max Muncy has at least one hit in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and South Korea. If he gets a hit in this game, he would be one of 4 guys all time with a hit in 5 countries or territories.
Wow. Well, we got to be rooting for Max Muncy to get a hit. I want to see history.
You have to want to see history. It would be Xander Bogaerts, Paul Goldschmidt, and Edgardo Alfonso. 2-1 called a strike. It just wrapped around the inside corner, says Bill Miller. 2-2.
Max Muncy, known for one of the better, that's a changeup, better eyes in baseball. He's thinking, man, Bill, that's not a strike.
2-2. Ooh, that one might have been 3-2.
Shota wanted that pitch. He's thinking, wow, that's right where I wanted to throw that. Very top of the zone. Muncy with his eye takes it.
Imanaga nodding as if to say, okay, all right, now I know. 3-2. On the ground wide of first.
This is the at-bat you see the Dodgers really do their thing. Especially Max Muncy. Sees a ton of pitches, fouls off pitches. Yes, he might make an out, but he just makes pitchers work so much, and the whole lineup does it when they're intact. Obviously no Freeman, no Betts tonight.
Yeah, it's not as deep of a lineup, but still the swing decisions as he fouls that ball off, hoping to find something better on another 3-2. Dodgers had the 3rd lowest chase rate in all of baseball as a team last year, as a throw on Smith over at first. Three and 2 is high. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks from Imanaga to bring up Kike Hernandez.
Something you never saw from Imanaga. He was one of the lowest walks per 9 in all of Major League Baseball last year. So to see him go back-to-back walks to lead off the 2nd inning is a shock.
His walk rate of 4% was top tier in Major League Baseball. And we will see if he can find his way out of this. Typically, he's the guy that gets a lot of chase, but the Dodgers are not a team that wants to do that. Hernandez tags this ball to left field. It hooks foul.
First pitch aggressiveness from Kike out front. Pulls it foul. Is there any player in baseball that just has to be in their uniform than Kike Hernandez in a Dodger uniform?
I know, right? They just find each other. It was 2nd week of February this time that they reached an agreement. Fastball challenged him, 0-2. You're right. I was thinking the same thing. Like, if he's available and the Dodgers have a need, he's a perfect fit because he can play anywhere.
And he gets big hits. Remember the World Series, the postseason? Kike came out and just raked in the postseason.
Right back with a fastball. Multiple stints as a Dodger for Kike Hernandez, working on now beginning his 2nd decade as a major leaguer. Year number 12 for him in the big leagues. He lays off the splitter, 1-2.
This is what they do. Talked about Max Muncy and his long at bat. Yes, Imanaga had a 9-pitch first inning. Now look at it. It's already at 28 with no outs. A lot of foul balls. They get behind in the count. They fight pitches off.
Popped him up first base side. They'll call it infield fly rule. It's on the edge of the infield. Bush makes the catch, 1 away. Even more important, AJ, because it's early in the year and you don't know how long these starters are going to go in their very first start of the season coming off of spring training.
Agreed. Pitch count, the higher you can get it, the earlier you can get into the bullpen. Now they have fresh bullpens coming out of spring training, but you still want to get into the bullpens early just to get to see guys. You never know when somebody will make a mistake.
Michael Conforto, who wasn't supposed to play today, so Dave Roberts pressed into action with one more lefty at the bottom of the order than he had planned. Freddie Freeman was originally in the lineup in the 3 spot in that left-handed 3 spot. The ball high 1-1, but Freddie can hit anybody, and Conforto is here for power, especially against right-handed pitching. 1-1. That's in there. There's the breaking ball that he mixes in every once in a while.
That was a good pitch. Conforto was actually better, Jason, last year against lefties than he was righties. He was a reverse splits guy, and he's an intriguing player for the Dodgers. What can they get out of him? Because he was so good away from San Fran last year in a notorious hitter's ballpark.
Threw him another breaking ball, and Imanaga had him in front. Shaw makes the catch. They're 2 away. Here is Miguel Rojas, who's become something of a minor celebrity in Japan because he gave up his number 11 to Roki Sasaki. Rojas wearing 72 once again for the Dodgers, as he did when he first started. There's that disappearing fastball up in the zone.
93. Say, why can't you hit it? Because of the spin rate. It stays true. You'll see a lot of guys swing and miss or pop it up like we saw Kike do, and then right there, Miggy Rowe is underneath it.
That was a 2-seamer bearing inside, and it's a fly ball to left. Ian Happ makes the catch. Imanaga works around 2 walks beautifully. Tokyo Dome in Japan. Yoshinobu Yamamoto throws the first pitch Matt Shaw sees in a major league uniform in the regular season. He was the rare 20-30 guy in the minors last year between AA with Tennessee and AAA Iowa, but high hopes for that former first-round pick out of Maryland.
There is, but how's this for your major league debut? In Tokyo against the Japanese star, and he throws 97 with a 78-mile-an-hour curveball.
That was a curveball we were talking about. The insane break he gets off that. It's 12-6, but it looks like gravity just yanks it down to the ground.
It looks like almost an eephus pitch because it starts out so high, but the spin he gets on it brings it down into the strike zone.
Just threw a splitter up there. Those sharp breaking balls, how do your eyes see him as a hitter, AJ?
Well, you try to get him in the strike zone. You want to see him up, but his start's so high in order to be a strike, you almost give up on it. And then he backs it with 97, 98. It is tough.
There's a 98 in on your hands. He is very willing, Yamamoto is, and we saw it last year, to throw that fastball inside to right-handers.
Well, if he can run that ball in, it's going to open up so many different lanes for him.
1-2, a splitter up for the second time in the sequence, but the Dodgers had it played perfectly with Tommy Edman. 1 down, and we remind you to suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Dansby Swanson against Yamamoto, and there is that breaking ball. I mean, it has sort of the rugged, angular nature of a slider, but it is a curveball.
Well, you saw Swanson buckle a little bit just because of how high it starts. And if you notice, Yamamoto's throwing a lot of first pitch off speed because we mentioned last year in his first start how the Padres were jumping heaters early. He's trying to mix that up a little bit this year.
That was a breaking ball in the zone, and Swanson saw it well. It's a base hit. First hit of the ball game for either team.
This is Jason Benetti's favorite pitch, a hanging breaking ball. Swanson stays back on it. See the straight down spin, but Swanson times it up nicely and gets the first hit of the Major League season this year.
Yamamoto said, yeah, my bad. I knew it. You know that look from a pitcher, right?
Oh, of course. And nothing as a catcher makes you feel better when you say, well, I put the right fingers down. You just threw a bad pitch. It's not my fault.
But you almost have to have that conversation, right? So you're willing to throw it again?
Of course. That's why you do like when a pitcher says that, because they realize, hey, it was not the wrong pitch, it was the wrong location.
Strike two to Pete Crow Armstrong. We mentioned him trying to build offensively. Mike Petriello of MLB had a story on Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA, as he's known, standing much deeper in the box later in the year and letting the ball travel a little bit more, which might be valuable against Yamamoto. It's a ground ball, second base, and they won't have a chance for two. Edman takes the short way, and two gone.
Just a nasty split. After two heaters at 97 and 98, he just throws this splitter at 93. And you see the reaction from Pete Crow Armstrong. That's all he can do to just try to put it in play.
Two down for Amaya. Splitter fades inside, but we've seen both the vertical and the horizontal movement of that splitter so far from Yamamoto. Oh man, what do you do with that?
You can't. You don't swing. That's what you do. You hope you guess right and you don't swing, because there's no way. Watch this angle. Look at the ball just go down out of his hand. There's just nothing you can do with that.
1-1. Oh, that ball is crushed by Amaya in the air, right center, and down off the warning track. First run of the Major League Baseball season is Dansby Swanson, driven in by Amaya. 1-0 Cubs.
Jason, you asked how you hit the splitter. You don't. You hit the four-seam fastball that's up out over the plate. This is the answer. This is a guy the Cubs need. They need Amaya to step up and be the Amaya that he was in the second half after the All-Star break. He was a really good offensive player for them. So can he do this? In his first at bat with runners in scoring position, he comes through.
Panamanian-born catcher in just his third Major League season. And here is John Birdie, the former Yankee and Marlin. Amaya, July, 872 OPS, August, 924. And a grand total of 35 games in those 2 months. So you're right. I mean, if he can show that offensively, they could use the depth in this lineup. One. There's a good splitter, 1-2.
You mentioned the numbers. He also got better against the fastball in the second half last year, Jason. In risk, with runners in scoring position, he hit under 200. So that's a big, nice first at bat for the kid to get his confidence up.
He's at second, two down, and Birdie takes strike three. Cubs take the lead on the Amaya double, 1-0. In the third inning, Imanaga, who threw 26 times in the second inning after a 9-pitch first, will face Pages and then Shohei Ohtani looming, to be followed by Tommy Edman. 1-1 from Imanaga.
I know you missed the little graphic, Shohei up in one batter, that popped up over the scoreboard in the corner during the postseason.
I do miss that graphic. I poured one out for the graphic. 1 and 2. But honestly, watching these fans this morning here, at least morning stateside, evening just after, just before 8 o'clock in Tokyo, every movement is being recorded, and that's nothing new. We saw it off the top of the show, billboards on every block, and we heard what his teammates said about him, but You know, Ohtani is the conquering hero, and he's done it, you said it, in so many big moments over so many years internationally. As that is popped up by Pages, still 2-2. This is one of those days that will stick in young people's minds, especially for a long time. Seiya Suzuki told the story about how he was there at the Tokyo Dome. There's a swing and a miss, strike three for the Hideki Matsui 2004 opener. And so you never know who in this crowd is going to be watching and become a major leaguer, in part because they had this experience of watching Suzuki and Ohtani and all of his countrymen.
Agreed. Just never know which kid is watching, and they'll become a fan of baseball and maybe become the next Imanaga or Ohtani or Yamamoto or Sasaki or Seiya Suzuki.
Shohei Ohtani. 1-0, takes a big pass at that high fastball, and it's 1-1.
Just throws this ball right by Shohei. He's late. See, kind of an emergency swing, almost like he was looking for something off speed.
He got it there, so Imanaga trying to keep him off balance. 1-2 on Ohtani, who in the World Baseball Classic, we talked about the at bat against Trout, but a 1345 OPS. You said it earlier, and you're dead on. His biggest moments are the brightest moments. 1-2 is high. 2-2.
What do they go with here? Do they go split, slider, or sweeper going away, or do they try to challenge him with a heater?
It is a high sweeper, and it's an absolute piece of cannon fire right at Birdie. Yikes.
A little bit off the end, little topspin is what kept that ball from going into the outfield, but perfect defensive alignment for the Cubs.
2 down, Tommy Edman, who is pressed into infield duty with Mookie Betts ill. Today, Freddie Freeman, a late scratch as well, if you just joined us. Ohtani, you see, he's working out the thing. He felt that.
Well, he just clipped it off the end. That's why. One, stayed in the infield and was caught. And two, if he catches that a little bit deeper off the barrel, that it might be 1-1.
Left side of the infield, Shaw. Nice play for the former middle infielder. 1-2-3 inning. Imanaga catches up after a long second. 868 home runs over 22 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants. Sadaharu Oh, an 11-time Japan Series champion and an absolute legend in this country, as that ball ticks to shortstop, and it will turn into a base for Ian Happ, leading off the third for the Cubs.
Well, that's a knock. Sometimes not how hard you hit it, but where you hit it. Yamamoto can't get to him. Miguel Rojas tries, but Ian Happ beats it easily. Just perfect placement, Jason.
That's all you got to do. So 1 on, and Suzuki the batter. But talking about Fabian Ardaya had a story in The Athletic about and an invitation he sent to Dave Roberts, who was born in Japan in the Okinawa area. His father was a Marine. Dave born in Japan, then they moved stateside and set up shop in San Diego. But Dave Roberts, after winning the World Series, got an invitation to dinner with Sadaharu Oh. So Dave and his son Cole had dinner with Sadaharu Oh for 3 hours or so. And the quote from Dave Roberts, he was almost like a figment of my imagination and like a folk hero. So Dave Roberts, who has great reverence for his home country, got a chance to sit down with one of the absolute best hitters ever on this planet.
No doubt. 800+ home runs. I don't care where you hit him. That's a lot of home runs. And he is, yes, you talk about legends in Japanese baseball and culture. He is one of them.
On the ground, third base side, and the only play is to first. Max Muncy takes down Suzuki, who is part of this next generation of players that was spawned at the beginning by O and his prowess in the sport.
That is the second time Yamamoto has sawed off Seiya Suzuki. I hope he brought a lot of bats because he's had 2 at-bats. He's broken 2.
It's not the same as, you know, a couple generations ago. Like you might only have a couple bats. They're not cheap, right? They're not cheap, but probably got a couple in reserve.
I'll be honest with you, Jason. I don't know how much they cost because I honestly never bought one. Once I got into professional baseball, I broke a lot, but I didn't pay for them. Thank you, MLB.
So you didn't you never even learned. You're basically the presidential candidate who doesn't know how much a gallon of milk costs, is what you're saying.
Not exactly.
1-1 to Tucker. Nice job laying off the splitter. 2-1.
Last inning, the Cubs kind of manufactured a run. Swanson with the base hit, and then a fielder's choice got him to second. He scored on Amaya's double. Here, Happ with the infield hit. Now he's on second on a fielder's choice. Can Tucker, the guy they brought in just for this situation, drive him in?
Three and one. Bush is on deck. Shaw to follow. Set up outside for Smith. Oh, and that tailed inside a splitter. It kind of lost its way, it looked like, but it worked out.
Well, the movement is what got it in, the velocity. See how out front Tucker was? That shows you the respect the Dodgers have for him. 3-1 split with an open base.
3-2. Another splitter rolled to second, and Tommy Edman for out number 2. And it shows you how much confidence, if people haven't seen Yamamoto pitch or it's been a while, how much confidence he has in that split too.
Any count, any time. But again, that's a situation where they're not. If he walks them right there, they're going to take their chances with Bush hitting behind Tucker. Tucker expanded his zone a little bit. One thing he normally doesn't do, but good pitches by Yamamoto.
Who had a walks and hits per inning in 2022 in Japan, under 1. I mean, he was a phenomenal talent at age 23, that breakout season, and there is that splitter that just disappears again.
It is nasty. I love this view. You can see the ball just fall off the table, and it looks just like a heater because of the velocity, 92, 93 miles an hour.
Again. But when you pair that with the fastball and it comes out of his hand looking the same, you're left calling time down 0-2.
Well, that's because no hitter wants to be embarrassed by a fastball thrown by him. So what do? They cheat and get ready for 97, 98, and then he backs it with 92 mile an hour split that just goes straight down. That's a great take.
Oh, wow. As a catcher, you got to be like, this is strike 3 on a pitch like that.
Yes, and then you throw another one and hope he gets it on the next pitch.
1-2. Oh, P7. Splitter city right now.
Well, if I had a weapon like that, you would see a lot of them too from any pitcher, Jason. But this is why you don't want to be a major league catcher right here. Watch where this ball gets Will Smith right in the old foot. And of course, it always finds the piece of you that doesn't have protection.
Where is the foot ranking nowadays in places you don't want to get hit?
There's other places that are worse, but The foot
on
is
the medal
high on
stand.
the list. Yes,
Yes.
it's probably second or third. Hand and foot, because every step you take, you feel it. He's lucky you didn't get the big toe. It was more of an arch. But the big toe is probably high also on the list.
Pounds the glove, Smith does, getting set for a 2-2. Nice take again. He spun him a slider, 3-2. So now, if you're Bush, what do you feel like is coming, considering this
Split.
sequence?
Split. You're not getting a heater. Split. Sell out for the split. Make it be up. It's the only chance you have. 5
splitters and a slider. And that is a high splitter that he wraps to second base. Edman takes care of it. And Yamamoto pitches around the leadoff single. One nothing Cubs with the lead. Shota Imanaga. Second time around against Teoscar Hernandez, who he struck out on 3 pitches his first time. You see Sadaharu O celebrated around Tokyo Dome for his time with the Giants. I think this is the one time that the Dodgers fans will appreciate a conversation about the Giants.
For sure.
Former home run derby champion Teoscar Hernandez leading off for the Dodgers. It is, by the way, it's 326. It's a uniform bowl stadium, 326 to both poles, 400 straightaway center. How did you feel like the ball flew when you played there?
I thought it was small. I thought it played small, but it reminded me so much of the Metrodome in Minnesota, the old Metrodome, with the roof, the way it was configured. Now, it didn't have the baggie that the Metrodome had, but I mean, you looked up, having at the time when I went to Japan and played in the Tokyo Dome, playing for the Twins in the Metrodome. I remember Torrey Hunter and Jock Jones, some of my teammates were with me, and we were like, man, we're home. This is like being back in Minnesota.
2-2. What's fouled off the face of Amaya. There you see down the lines, officially 329. It's been listed at 326 as well. 400 straightaway center, but you see it is a uniform ballpark. Two, just inside. 3-2 on Hernandez. Freddie Freeman out today with rib discomfort. No word on whether or not he'll play tomorrow as yet. Mookie Betts out with an illness. But that's a big piece you're missing to start the year for the Dodgers.
You never want to hear rib discomfort, obliques. That is a bad injury for anybody, but especially a hitter.
3-2 is upstairs. He did not swing. Hernandez takes the third walk from Imanaga. Here is Will Smith. The Dodgers to this point are hitless so far against Imanaga. Smith walked, Muncy walked in the second inning. And the Hernandez walk to lead off this fourth. There's a splitter for a strike.
And all those walks haven't been 4-pitch walks. They've been deep count walks. 8 pitches, 7 pitches, 8 pitches.
And so you see Craig Counsell there. He's thinking ahead, certainly, about how to handle the later innings as Birdie is in position for out number 1.
Craig Counsell said after the 4th inning was the key. You look down, you see 59 pitches through 3 in the 3rd. If he gets through this inning, if Imanaga gets through this inning relatively easily, I could see him going back out there for a 5th. I would think his pitch count would be 80 to 90-ish. But obviously Craig Counsell will ask him how he feels.
They'll face Muncy here. Pitch number 60 is high, and it is a reconfigured Cubs bullpen. They're hoping for even better things this year, even though they improved later in the year at points last year. Ryan Presley over from the Astros, Ryan Brazier from the Dodgers. That's called a strike on the breaking ball, 1-1.
How deep are the Dodgers? They traded Ryan Brazier basically just because they didn't have a roster spot, because they signed all the guys they did and did all the things they did, and they put him on waivers, and the Cubs were like, yeah, he's really good, we'll take him.
Yeah. If you hadn't heard, the Dodgers added Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Luis Garcia in the bullpen, former Red Sox as well.
Oh, and they brought back Blake Trinan. Who was really good for him last year. It's an abundance of riches for what the Dodgers are able to do. But the thing for me is, what kind of shape will the Cubs bullpen be in? Because that was kind of their bugaboo last year. How good will Ryan Presley be back in the closer's role for the Cubs?
Well, it's a Cubs team that's trying to make it back to the postseason. They were in year one for Craig Counsell, not a playoff team. I feel like they've gotten better this offseason in a division that has certainly some question marks. 3-1 is called a strike. 3-2 on Muncy.
Well, I think if you look at the National League Central that the Cubs are in, they have to be the favorites. I know that the Brewers always outperform what they're predicted to do, but Cardinals are down. Pittsburgh, where are they at? Brewers should be down a little bit. There's another walk. It seems like it's their division and their time.
Tommy Hotovy out of the dugout here. I agree with you, but you know, Cub fans, I think, have felt that way for a couple of years now. 83-79 last year, 83-79. They limped to the finish in 2023, which led to the managerial change. A couple under 500 years before that. Their last playoff trip was to the wild card round that odd COVID season in 2020.
Yes, the most intriguing team to me in this division is the Reds. What is Cincinnati going to do? With Tito Francona, they brought in some new additions. Can they stay healthy? Can Ellie De La Cruz continue to grow in his stardom? That's the team to me, I think, that's the most intriguing in their division, along with the Brewers, because it seems like Pat Murphy and the Brewers, where Craig Counsell came from, always outperform whatever expectations. Yeah. They're projected to win 60 games. They go out and win 92. It's like, wait, what? How do the Brewers do it every year?
Nestor Cortez goes into their rotation as you see the bullpen starting up for the Cubs. After that walk from Imanaga, Ben Brown getting loose as Kike Hernandez could not hang on. Strike one. Do the Reds have enough pitching would be the question I think people would ask. Brady Singer is a nice add. Jonathan India over to Kansas City. Hernandez gives it a ride to center field, and it's going to come just short of the warning track. Out number 2, that advances Hernandez to third.
And that ball left the bat. Kike kind of stood there for a second. I thought it might have a chance, but Pete Crow Armstrong caught that easily in center field. Craig Counsell, I think, is thinking, all right, we've talked about 4 innings. We're about there. The contact has gotten better. The command's gone down.
So if you're Amaya behind the plate and you know that and you see that and you feel that, how do you call this at bat differently, if at all, to Conforto?
You tell Shota, I need your best stuff right here. I need your best stuff to get Conforto out. Get us in the dugout. We'll go on from there. Give me your best. Give me everything you've got to get through Conforto. Get Conforto out, because this is probably his last hitter. I don't know that.
Just based on the situation and the look on Counsell's face as well. He does get a pop up on a high fastball that ends up in shallow left field. And Happ makes the catch as Swanson peels away. 1-0 Cubs. Leads off here in the 4th inning for the Cubs. Craig Counsell gets Imanaga out of the 4th inning, and a big old smile on the skipper's face, which tells me that I think you were dead on, AJ, that was going to be his last batter.
Yes, well, in the situation for sure, with the righties coming up, Brown ready in the bullpen. I think that smile and the handshake tells you that we've seen the last of Shota Imanaga for today. We'll see, but Brown's still getting hot. And he looks like he's going to be the guy to come in.
A couple righties, as you said, coming up. Rojas and Pages before Ohtani flips it back over to the top of the card. Another explosive splitter there for Shaw from Yamamoto. And another one downstairs. That ball hung up for a little while and showed fastball and then just sunk.
Yeah. Poor Shaw. Matt Shaw saying, this is the guy getting my big league debut with that splitter at 93 miles an hour. Good luck.
Didn't that look like it had a little bit of a delayed drop compared to the ones he's thrown previously?
Well, that's the goal of a split, is to try to make it look like a fastball. And he is doing that tonight beautifully. And yes, that one stayed in the zone a little bit longer than some of the other ones have.
1-0. Fades inside to Swanson. By the way, Imanaga, a career high 4 walks in this game, but the Dodgers still do not have a hit. The Cubs lead. If you just joined us, if you're just waking up and having breakfast, Cubs scored on a 2-out RBI double for catcher Miguel Amaya in the second inning on a 1-0 pitch from Yamamoto. So 1-0 Cubs. Two one. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. We mentioned earlier, if folks were just joining us, we got a chance to play in this very stadium in Japan, but it was a long while ago. How long ago?
2002, Jason.
So, dial-up internet?
No, well, cell phones were just becoming a thing. We were laughing that David Eckstein was on our team, who went on to become he had just won the World Series with the Angels and went on to the World Series with the Cardinals, but we didn't have money to call home. So we went over to the McDonald's across the street from our hotel, and they gave you 2 minutes free internationally. So him and I would go over there and go back and forth calling home every 2 minutes. We'd be like, all right, Mom, we're going to call you back. It's David's turn for 2 minutes, and would go back and forth. It was called the McBeebe phone. It was free from Japan to Orlando, Florida.
Did you get recognized by anybody while you were doing that?
Of course, because they nasty. Nasty,
That's
by the way.
gross, by the way. That's a gross cutter, 2 down.
Yes, but yes, because we've mentioned how big of fans the Japanese baseball fans are, and this is just a filthy cutter from Yamamoto to Swanson. But so everywhere you went, there was people following you. So we walked into McDonald's, and there was people just lined up waiting to see us.
Waiting to see you use the phone. Yamamoto clears out of the way of that ball, and Rojas throws to first. And now you can send text messages during the break. Things have changed. Is back. Skip Holtz and the Birmingham Stallions are a spring dynasty, and now they're chasing a 4th title. But the rest of the league is coming for the crown. Not the tournament, the championship of the UFL. The new season kicks off March 28th on Fox. As you said, AJ, as you prophesied, Ben Brown is in. Imanaga is done. 4 scoreless and hitless innings for Imanaga, 4 walks, but he's handed the Cubs bullpen a 1-0 lead.
He has a nice outing, nice first outing for Shota Imanaga. Opening day for them. Career high 4 walks, no runs, no hits, and now Ben Brown, a youngster for him. Fastball, curveball, changeup, 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, mostly fastball, curveball, and a different look for this Dodger lineup.
It's a great point. Fastball, curveball, you're not going to see, and being from the right-hand side as well, but you're not going to see the splitter, and that high fastball leads to another one that Rojas does lay off of. Ben Brown, former Philadelphia Philly, who came over in a deal for veteran reliever David Robertson a couple years ago. There's a sharp curveball. It went biting down to the ground, and Brown has a strikeout. One down for Pages as you see Ohtani on deck. And the phones come out when Ohtani is on the field in any way. Poor Andy Pages is always the folks playing either before or after the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Right? Like, Pages is always on deck. He's always batting when Ohtani's on deck.
Hey, Jason, I was in Dodgers camp on Monday, a week ago Monday.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Shohei. He was just sitting there eating bacon and eggs like a normal person. I went right up to him and introduced myself. Could not have been nicer. I'm not sure he knew who I was, but it was nice. He at least shook my hand and said hello.
Did you sit down and have breakfast with him?
No. Listen, as a former player, there's one thing I know. I'm not sitting down in anywhere in a locker room anytime soon.
3-1 is up. It's ball 4, and that is the 5th Dodger walk of the ball game. And here comes Ohtani. Ground out to second, line out to second, his days so far. Now he faces the right-hander Brown, and he loads up to take a nasty pass at a curveball.
That was a good curveball by Brown. Shohei's thinking, I'm going to jump him first pitch after a walk, and he throws that curveball to his back foot. Good pitch.
That's a high curveball Ohtani liked enough to swing at. 0-2.
This is a hanger. This is a mistake. But Shohei's still underneath it after the good one on the first pitch.
High fastball here, AJ.
I'd go another curveball.
Do you believe in it enough after you throw a hanger would be my question.
I would have said, let's throw the one at his back foot again. I love, though, that Shohei fouls it off the catcher, and he asks him if he's okay, and he's almost apologizing to him.
The kindness of Ohtani is endless. That's a high curveball, and it got absolutely smoked. Ohtani has the first Dodgers hit of the year, and it comes in front of an adoring nation.
Well, we mentioned it. Would you throw another one? Yes, if you don't hang it. But that is almost chest high to Ohtani. And that is a bad recipe if you're Brown. 107 off the bat. First to third for Pages. And now the Dodgers are in business. All they had to do is get Imanaga out of the game, Jason.
That's what it looks like. Now Tommy Edman, will he benefit from the couple hangers? Does Brown feel comfortable enough to throw in curveballs? Edman thought he was getting a fastball. He did. That ends up down, and Ian Happ has to fire it back in. The Dodgers are on the board. Happ didn't read it well, took a spill in left. It's an RBI single for Edman, and we are tied. He was looking fastball.
Well, he got a fastball up, out over the plate with runners in scoring position. He just does what he's supposed to do. He gets this ball in the air. Now he hits it hard enough and low enough. Ian Happ has won 3 Gold Gloves in a row. If he can't catch it, nobody's catching it. And what a great read. Let's not forget the read by Shohei Ohtani. That is a tough read because you don't know if the ball's down where it's at. You got to be careful. And he still gets to second base.
2 on. Hernandez swings through a breaking ball. This is a quote-unquote Cubs home game. The Cubs are the home team for both of these, and that was Let's Go Dodgers being played at the Tokyo Dome.
Well, we all know that man right there has a lot of fans. With this gold, by the way, the gold patch on the back means you won a significant award.
He's won quite a few of them. 0-2 on the ground to third. Shaw starts it. Birdie the turn. It's high and away. The Dodgers take the lead on a double play that wasn't. Tommy Edman did his job going into second, AJ.
He did. This is interesting to me. A breaking ball here from Brown. Teoscar. This is not really a double play ball because Teoscar runs well. Now, Shaw does a good job of getting it to Birdie, and a good slide there at second by Edman. Doesn't interfere. He just kind of gets in the way. It's not an illegal slide. It was just one of those annoying, pesky slides, and then Birdie trying to turn it has to throw over him, throws high, and allows Ohtani to score from third.
The key to that is the timing of the slide, that he was a little bit high, but he was on time with it, and it is a legal slide. So the Dodgers take the lead, and there's a strike on Smith.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was not illegal. Like I said, it was annoying. It was a pesky slide because Edman got there quick, so he was on top of Birdie. So when he went to throw, he had to throw it over, which led to the high throw and another run score.
Two and one on Smith. Now triage for Brown out of the bullpen. This is pitch number 21, and he just has not had the feel of the curveball consistently in this inning. (3-1). Check swing, he went around. That was maybe the best one he's thrown since the back shoe to Ohtani.
Yes, because Will Smith is thinking 3-1, young guy on the mound, big situation. I'm not getting a breaking ball. You saw Will Smith kind of cheating to get to the fastball, and that's why he check swung.
(3-2). He was sitting on the curveball that time. Into left field. 3-1 Dodgers. He saw it well.
But he saw too many of them. He's seen a bunch of them. No, Brown hasn't been able to really throw a fastball anywhere close. He sees one 3-1. He learns from it. And this is what the Dodgers do. They just wear you down. They wait for the one guy that's not on his A game, not doing the best he can. This isn't a bad pitch. That ball's down, but Will Smith just stays on. Remember, he just saw one 3-1 that he check swung at. So right here, 3-2, off the end of the bat a little bit. Dodgers are up 3-1.
Ohtani loves it. Blake Snell loves it. Blake Snell, third base coach from the dugout.
He's on vacation, so he's loving it.
That's right. He's going to start against the Tigers next Tuesday. Here's Muncy. A couple of walks on 3-2 pitches so far, and he nearly got hit in the elbow.
BC Brown does not have a lot of command of his fastball. The strikes he's been able to get have been on breaking balls, but then the Dodgers, these veterans, they see it, and then they make the adjustment to it.
1-1.
We saw it with Ohtani. We saw it with Will Smith. We saw it with a bunch of the Dodger hitters. They see that breaking ball early. They might have a bad swing, then they see one later on, and they make that adjustment.
We mentioned Freddie Freeman out today with the rib discomfort, and you mentioned the word oblique. Just, you know, when you hear anything like that, that's your fear. Not saying that that's what it is at all, but you think about Max Muncy and everything he went through last year to only play a little bit less than half the season with an entire saga of oblique into displaced rib and everything that went along with it. Now back and healthy for the Dodgers in a big piece. 3-2.
And he's down a bunch of weight too. Max Muncy looks good. Trying to be more nimble in his older age.
At age 33. 34 now. He turns 35 in August, fouled away, still 3-2. So he's run 3 straight full counts. And he's exactly the guy you're talking about when you say the Dodgers wear you down.
100%, but notice the at-bats, right? 3-2 breaking ball to Will Smith, base hit. 3-2 breaking ball right there to Muncy, fouls it off. What do you throw here? If you're Brown, you have to throw another breaking ball. There's another foul ball, right? But these are it's just information for the Dodgers. And we showed earlier Shohei talking to the next hitter and then Edman talking to the next hitter. It's what they do. Veteran guys will sit and discuss pitch shape, pitch form, pitch sequencing. And then as the game goes on, they build at-bats and build confidence.
It's the 31st pitch from Brown. And another foul ball from Muncy.
When does he try to throw a heater? That's the question. When will Brown try and sneak a heater by Muncy? Those are 3 decent breaking balls. Muncy's fouled them off. Will he dare try to throw a heater by him? Or will he try to get Muncy to swing at another breaking ball?
All 3 pitches out of the zone in this sequence. The fastballs. 3-2. Here we go. He threw him another breaking ball and got the strikeout to end the inning, but the Dodgers take the lead. Ohtani thrills the crowd. He comes around to score as part of a big inning for Los Angeles. It's 25th at T-Mobile.com/MLB. You excited to fire up all the devices and watch 3 games at once again?
Oh, 3? I don't know what you're watching. I got like 8 on my screen at once.
Really? How do you do that? Rojas at short. Nice pick. Throw to first. Got him. 1 down.
Well, I have this service, Jason, called DirecTV, and they have the Strike Zone channel, I think it's called. And it shows 8 games at a time.
But how do you, like, what are you watching when you're watching 8 games at a time?
Just flipping around.
What do you like watching? Catcher? Like, are you watching pitch type? Like, how do you? There's another ball right side. This time a rocket that way. And Hernandez with the pick for out number 2. The Dodgers infield defense sterling this inning behind Yamamoto.
2 pitches, 2 outs. A pitcher's best friend. And Kike hasn't played a lot of first base in his career with Freddie Freeman out. Nice play, and then he doesn't make the pitcher cover, Jason, which is one of the most important things. Don't make them cover unless they have to.
You don't believe in pitchers covering?
No, because the less they have to do in a game, the better off the whole world is.
Well, Yamamoto.
Just throw the ball over the plate, guys. We'll take care of everything else. Just throw the ball over the plate.
That's nice of you. Way to take care of your guys. 9 groundouts already for Yamamoto against this Cubs lineup.
So you mentioned, I mentioned 2 pitches, 2 outs. If I'm Will Smith, I am like, dude, Ian Happ has to take a couple strikes here, and now he's behind 2-1. This has to be a strike, and it's a ball. So you get 2 pitches on 2 outs, and all of a sudden you're 3-1. Like, no, let's go. If Ian Happ hits a homer here, you're still winning 3-2. You could have had a chance for a really quick inning.
Instead, he'll hit 70 pitches in this inning. There's a fastball. That's the kind of pitch you're looking for at the 1-1, right? Like, just throw him a high fastball.
0-1. Because he's going to have to take 2. He's not going to swing. Yes, he took the first pitch for a strike. He's probably not going to swing in the second pitch. And if he does, that's a 4-pitch inning. That is a good inning from any measure.
3-2. Popped up, back of home, and out of play. See, that's the foul ball you take home and you say, yeah, that was off Ohtani's bat. Nobody's going to know.
That is the 12-6 Jason Benetti curveball.
Okay. 3-2. Called strike 3. That's pinpoint. What a dagger. First pitch, foul ball here in the 6th inning. Kike Hernandez leads it off. As there you see Yamamoto coming off the mound after retiring his 9th straight Cubs. So the Happ single in the 3rd inning to lead off and then 9 straight, and no ball has left the infield since the 2nd inning against Yamamoto.
He has been as good as advertised. Shota was a little bit better when he was in for his 4 innings, but to get through 5 innings for Yamamoto is huge for the Dodgers. Now they can line up their bullpen weapons to mix and match, and Dave Roberts is great at mixing and matching his bullpen.
For 2 days too, right? Like they're gonna have to figure out tomorrow as well. So that those 5 in a first start of the season are enormous.
Well, and you only have 2 games, so the Dodgers guys have thrown back-to-back. I'm sure most of them have in spring training. So then you go back home and you have off days. So this is just 2 games. It's almost like a postseason series.
Strike 3 on Hernandez. Ben Brown, who the Dodgers got for 3 runs in the 5th, gets out number 1 here in the 6th. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Strike 1 to Conforto. Yamamoto getting the requisite hugs, so I assume he's done.
Yes. You don't hug the starting pitcher if he's going back out there, usually.
You're not that warm, lovable catcher who was just looking for an embrace every top of an inning.
Most pitchers, when they're done, is when you see the smile, you see no jacket,
right? Because
it's a huge lift. They're like, "Whew, I made it! 5 innings, opening day, go team."
You see the Dodgers bullpen getting ready. Anthony Banda, who came over from Cleveland last year, getting set to come in. 1-2. That is nasty. Down in the dirt. Strike 3, and back-to-back punch-outs for an angry Ben Brown.
Well, you see what Ben Brown can do when he's right, and there's Yamamoto's line. Really only one mistake. It was the pitch to Amaya that he hit for the double to right center. Other than that, he was locked in. Splits and a ton of weak contact and ground balls. Tyler Glasnow sitting in front of him, Jason. He's also on vacation.
He is on vacation, yeah. Scholarship for a couple of those starters. The ball low. You think about what it means for Yamamoto, who, again, just a couple years ago was the next big thing, pitching in Japan to a whip of under 1 at age 23. He gets to come back home, and he puts on a dazzling show. His team hands him the lead as well, and I was really struck by Ichiro saying that when he went back to Japan late in his career, it was as nervous as he's been in a batter's box, because that's a guy that has this steely confidence, never looks shaken at all, and he felt it at home. That's a grenade from third by Shaw, and it goes rolling past Bush to set up the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position. Rojas safe at second.
Well, nice stop by Shaw, but Jason, your description of that throw is about spot on. He actually is smart there. He tries to bounce it to Bush at first to try to keep it down. But just because of the way his body was twisting and turning, not able to make an accurate throw. It's a hit and an error.
It's a position he's learning. He was a middle infielder at Maryland, former first-round pick just a couple years ago for the Cubs. And I would imagine you played on the surface. It plays pretty fast.
Yes, all turf plays fast.
Baez takes ball 1.
It's a position in progress for the Cubs. That was one of the reasons they were mentioned with a lot of free agent third basemen, and they're trying Shaw out there to see how it goes. His bat plays defensively is definitely a work in progress.
So when you see a catcher just not squeeze a ball like that, what word comes to mind? What are you thinking? Just in a
Clank.
sitting on the bench? Yeah, I thought so.
Clank, clank.
I know you can't help yourself as a catcher from having some word register.
Of course. My son's a catcher. He misses one. I'll yell at him. Clank, clank.
What does he say to Dad?
Shush. He says it a little meaner than that, though.
Something about the apple in the tree is rolling around in my mind. 3-0 on Pages. Not going to swing here, is he? Ball four.
Interesting pitch selection, Jason. As Shohei walks up to the plate, but 2-0 curveball to Andy Pages before Shohei with a base open. I'm going to have to make Pages beat me before I walk him on 4 pitches to get to Shohei. Especially after last time he hit this ball really hard on it. The 3rd straight curveball he had seen. If one thing Brown has shown, the one pitch he can throw for a strike is a breaking ball. If he hangs on, this ball could go really far.
Fastball got him on his heels, 0-1. Ohtani cracked the ball to right first time against Brown. There's a curveball for him, 0-2.
This is the good curveball. This is when Ben Brown is right. That's the curveball he's throwing. We've seen him punch out a bunch of Dodgers on that pitch, on that breaking ball down. But when he hangs it, that's the one that gets hit. Can he make another good one?
Oh, 2. Ohtani checked his swing and he went around. Bill Miller calls strike 3, and the inning ends. 3-1 Dodgers. 3-1 Dodgers over the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And this building has seen so much baseball over the course of time, not only in Japanese professional baseball, but also Major League Baseball. And we mentioned earlier that the Yankees showed up after Hideki Matsui's rookie season in 2003. The Yankees came in 2004 as part of the opening series, and Matsui hit a home run. A 9-year-old Seiya Suzuki was in the crowd celebrating that home run, and now here he is 21 years later, inspired by that, facing the Dodgers left-hander out of the bullpen.
Oh.
Everybody wants the video of this. 0-2. Inside and low.
That's the pitch right there, Jason, that made Vanda special for the Dodgers last year. Opponents did not hit his slider at all last year. He tried to back foot Suzuki to get him to swing and miss at it.
Called strike 3, pinpoint on the inside corner. Banda aces Suzuki.
I don't know what that view is that we've discovered, but I like it. It's cool. You even saw how Suzuki thought it was inside and moved his back leg.
I thought it was your video game system that you plugged in. One down. Fastball inside to Tucker. Suzuki, by the way, who just struck out. There was some video of him earlier this spring training taking batting practice with a samurai sword. Is that something you have ever done, AJ Pierzynski?
It is not, but it was something I'd like to try. At my advanced age, though, Jason, I might swing and miss, so be careful.
Yeah, that's it's not the kind of cagey hitter I'm looking for if I'm going to be around there. 1-1 to Tucker, and he flicks it to left. Conforto for out number 2. Stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season, plus live audio for all 30 teams. No blackouts. Includes access to minor leagues, MLB Big Inning, and available pre-post games. Visit MLB.com/@bat for details.
Jason, who's your favorite Japanese league team?
Yokohama, Oryx. Who's your favorite?
You got to go Giants, right? The Yomiuri Giants, just because they're like the Yankee Dodgers of the Japanese Professional League.
See, that's where you and I are different, though. Like you go for the mainstream, and I go for a little bit off the beat.
I can see you being a Yakult fan.
The Swallows.
They're off the beaten path for sure.
2-0. In the air, center field. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Banda. Pages puts it away. To the 7th we go. Lead over the Cubs as the Dodgers have now retired 12 consecutive Cub hitters, and back to the offense for Los Angeles. Tommy Edman, who is such an important piece for Dave Roberts. Infield, outfield. Mookie Betts obviously very willing and able to play shortstop, as we've seen him do. But Edman down 0-2 here, but he gives you the flexibility, and he also can drive the ball, as we saw as he put a run home in the 5th.
And don't forget what he did for the postseason for these Dodgers. Huge hits, home runs, played in numerous positions, very valuable.
Right back to the mound, and there is out number 1. Back here at the Tokyo Dome tomorrow morning to wrap up this series between the Dodgers and Cubs. The MLB World Tour live from Tokyo continues tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific, over on FS1. And because the NBA has load management, play-by-play announcers do as well. Adam Amin will be in with you. You get to do 2 games. You have the stamina to do 2 games. Adam and I can only do 1 apiece.
Well, they don't make play-by-play guys like they used to, Jason. What else can I say?
I knew you'd have something to say about that.
I guarantee if Hawk Harrelson was here, he'd do both.
He would.
Dadgum
He'd
right.
have him sanction another game so he could do a 3rd one.
You're busy. You're a busy guy. What do you want me to tell you?
Okay. 2-0 on Hernandez. Ben Brown eating up some innings here for the Cubs out of the bullpen, helping out Craig Counsell, game number 1.
Jason, as Michigan Sportscaster of the Year this year, I mean, you can't be asked to do 2 games in 2 days.
Thank you all for joining us for this roast.
That's facts.
Center field, 2 down. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's load management like the NBA. 2 gone. Here's a look at that Will Smith RBI back in the 5th from Video Game Land.
Just how excited they were. And again, it was an adjustment from Will Smith after seeing Ben Brown's breaking ball numerous times in a row. He makes the adjustment. He gets the RBI. I love that view. You know what I love about that view, too? Not only do you see the pitch breaking, but you see the ball off the bat going back out. That's a clean look.
Yeah, I'd like that for the year. Totally a keeper.
What do the kids say? It's fire. That's fire.
Fire. That's fire. So I do think, though, all joking aside, to have the hitter's perspective of what these pitches look like, because we get so used to seeing them from center field, but we don't get to see them through your eyes as a hitter or a catcher as much. And I think it explains why it's so hard to hit.
If only that video game looked at it just as how much harder it is in real life and what
right?
it looks like. If there was only that little dot on the ball, you know, the little tracer that we show sometimes.
See Blake Trinan getting loose in the Dodgers bullpen. Oh boy. It was similar to pitch number 1 of our season, and it's called a strike on Smith, and Dave Roberts doesn't even want to look at it. He's not mad, he's disappointed. Center cut fastball fouled away.
That swing, you said fouled away, center cut, because remember 3-2 last time Will Smith got breaking balls. Ben Brown's thrown a lot of breaking balls in big counts, so Will Smith was not ready for that heater.
3-2 breaking ball. He stays away from it, and it's a 2-out walk for Smith.
That's the building of at bats. You see as Craig Counsell comes out to probably remove Ben Brown, but the Dodgers build at bats. They see pitch over pitch after pitch, and they make adjustments. They don't swing at that one over time.
7th walk for Dodger hitters today. Brown leaves. The Cubs deeper into the bullpen when we come back. Dodgers leading 3-1. Shohei Ohtani 1 for 4 with a run scored. And Will Smith has driven in a run. Tommy Edman has driven in a run. And the Dodgers now will face, out of the bullpen, Eli Morgan, the former Cleveland Guardian, in year number 1 with the Cubs. He came over in a deal just after the season in November. And his first pitch, Muncy had seen 23 pitches in 3 trips to the plate. There he goes after the first one, and it's stretch time in Tokyo. To the 2025 Tokyo Series on Fox, presented by Guggenheim. Beautiful Tokyo at night as the Dodgers lead 3-1 over the Cubs as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning. The Dodgers put together 3-run 5th inning to take the lead here. Beautiful evening in Tokyo, Japan, and the Dodgers trying to put away win number 1 of the season. They count now as the Dodgers and Cubs open the year at the Tokyo Dome, as Major League Baseball has done a number of times over the course of history. The Dodgers dip deeper into the bullpen. Ben Kasparius is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Former UConn Husky. Gets a fly ball to the right side, and it's playable for Tommy Edman, out number 1.
Kasparius is a nice story. Fastball, slider mainly, but he started a game in the World Series for these guys last year. He went 2 innings in Game 4, Jason. So yes, he's in here in the 7th with a 2-run lead, but he also started a World Series game in his rookie year, which seems incredible when you think about the Dodgers' depth of pitching that they have now.
Well, they're so innovative with their ability to work around injury issues, and it's in part because of their depth, which comes from their ability to develop talent in the minor leagues.
Agreed. And yes, and we talked about Dave Roberts earlier, and his ability to communicate what they need out of all their different pitchers, and they've all thrown different roles and they've all done different things, but Dave Roberts' ability to mix and match and put them in good spots is one of the many reasons why they won the World Series.
Dave Roberts has talked about the pressure he felt in that series against San Diego. They get to Game 5 in the DS, and if that series goes sideways, who knows what ends up happening, and the butterfly effect of all of that with the Dodgers. 3-1. Swanson to right field, pretty well hit, back to the warning track, but playable for Hernandez for out number 2.
Good swing, good play by Teoscar Hernandez and right, but think about this, Jason. The Padres beat the Dodgers, and many Dodgers were talking about the Padres were their toughest series in all the postseason. Does Dave Roberts get the extension he just got? To the Dodgers, what other moves are made for the Dodgers? You're right. The butterfly effect would have been incredible if they would have not beaten the Padres in the postseason.
You think of the moments in sports when things turn and how many people it can affect. I mean, even including where the Dodgers are not only on the bench, but who's on the roster, how they build their team, what their lessons they learn from maybe losing a series against the Padres. It completely changes your outlook and what you believe possibly might be your road forward, even in roster construction, as it's fouled away 1 and 2.
I don't think Pete Crow Armstrong liked missing this pitch very much. Watch his reaction. There's some anger after he swung and fouled that ball off.
We don't have closed captioning for lip reading. One two is a little bit high at 99. 2-2. It was such a hot fastball. The smoke that came across the screen just torched the score bug. Just got fried. 98, strike 3. Somebody get a score bug fire extinguisher. 3-1. Again in the top of the 8th inning as Dodgers pitchers have retired a grand total of 15 in a row. To hold this 3-1 lead, he'll tap her back to Morgan, and he'll flip it on for out number 1. So Hernandez retired by Morgan and one away. Shota Imanaga was very good for the Cubs. 4 innings, no hits, 4 walks. Ohtani enjoying. You know, the thing about Ohtani that I think makes him so likable, AJ, is even if you don't know his native language, his face is so expressive, you kind of always know what he's thinking.
And he's always got a smile on his face. No matter what happens, except for when he's squinting his eyes trying to get a better view of Eli Morgan's pitches, but he always seems like he's smiling, he's always having fun. Nothing gets him down. Not even Bill Miller can get him down.
Bill Miller also always smiling.
I think there'll be some players that would disagree with you on that one, Jason.
Camera may disagree with you. Jason, want to know? As we have a bit of an issue.
What's going on?
Just sing along. Craig counts a lot of the dugout. Do we have maybe something with the batter's eye? Oh, maybe it's somebody with a flashlight. I think that might have been the universal sign for flashlight. Or like a light on the phone. Yeah, so administer this, Craig. Deal with it, please. Oh, the pitch clock. The pitch clock is off.
We can't play without that. I only did it for 150 years. I don't know how they'll ever survive without the pitch clock.
So we will talk to the administrators on site and work on the electronics. I think if you stare at it for long enough, it turns back on. I think we can probably, I'm with you, play without it.
You know what's great? The music they're playing right now. It's not what's going on now. There, I want to know what you're thinking, because everyone in the stadium is saying the same thing we are. What is happening?
It's a Dodger dance party is what's happening. So it is a light. Somebody's got a light. He said right there, Bill Miller is trying to, from 400 feet away, try to get whoever's got the laser pointer to stop. You in the hoodie. Yeah, you. All right, now we're okay. But truly, like if somebody's pointing a light at a batter, it's probably hard to hit. You don't do that. But
I crazy Cub fans, Jason, I tell you what.
Right. That's it. There's a strike. 2-1. I just love that Bill Miller turned his microphone on to say like you're a person in a restaurant saying like, you know, you over there, you, and there are 45,000 people in the stadium. That ball is rocketed to right field and foul.
A changeup from Eli Morgan gets Conforto out front.
2-2. Hammered left side. That's a fair ball. Conforto climbs the ladder to absolutely vaporize a baseball into the left field corner. And the Freddie Freeman dance is for everybody.
Conforto, the pitch before, hits one down the right field line. And this one is a great piece of two-strike hitting. Gets on top of that ball. Right field line on the last pitch, left field line for a double on this pitch. And yes, he gets to do the Dodger dance, even though he's a former Giant.
It's allowed now.
Well, once you switch teams, all allegiances go out the window.
Is that true?
Of course.
But you've been an ambassador for teams after you left them.
We can always go back.
One strike. And there's strike two from Eli Morgan to Rojas. Ohtani looming. Oh, 2. It's a good take.
That's
Pretty
a great
good
take.
pitch.
It's a good take on a good changeup, and I love the little things you notice sitting here watching the game. Miguel Rojas's cleats match his wrap on his bat. Those things are important, Jason.
I like it. That ball slightly gets away, but not far enough.
Amaya is one of the best blocking catchers in all of baseball. Very highly rated blocking the ball.
An important skill. By the way, I think it's the Venezuelan flag, if I'm seeing it right, on the bat and the shoes.
This is a backup slider. Doesn't do anything. It actually ends up inside, and you see the emergency hack by Miggy Rowe.
Two and two. Conforto at second. On the ground, up the middle, fast infield. Nice play by Birdie for out number 2.
Nice play by Birdie. He goes a long way to get this ball on the other side of second base. Nico Horner, who's not here for the Cubs, is one of the better second basemen in baseball, but look how far John Birdie goes for this. And then the perfect throw to Bush to get Miguel Rojas. Look at that angle. Love the new toys we have.
Great, right? Top notch. Two down. There's that changeup fluttering in for a strike. You kind of give up on it as a right-hander there, don't you?
Yeah, it starts so far off the plate away, and he just floats it back into the corner. You got to get Pages out right here if you're Eli Morgan. You don't want to get Ohtani up with guys on base.
Strike 2.
These are all the things that go through a catcher's mind during a game. Who's on deck? Where are we at in the lineup? Who can we get out? Who do we want to face? Who do we not want to face? What pitch do we throw?
This one, 2 strikes to Pages, trying to leave Ohtani for the 9th. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So as you're calling this sequence then, with that in mind, how do you make sure that guy stays over there?
Well, you first of all have to attack Pages with your best stuff. He's thrown him 3 off-speed pitches in a row, changeup and 2 sliders. Now, what do you think you can use to put him away right here, whether it's a changeup or a slider? What's your best option to get Pages to make it out and have Ohtani lead off the 9th inning?
Nice catch by a fan over there, by the way, a Dodger fan in the right field corner. Ohtani just taking it in, back in his home country for the first time in a major league uniform as a Dodger off a World Series championship. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Nice block again by Amaya, to your point.
Runner on third, 2 outs. Pitcher has to have ultimate trust in the catcher that he can throw his best pitch down in the zone and your catcher will block it. And Amaya, like I said, is one of the best.
Two and two. Rolled foul. Nice job to spoil a strong changeup. Two and two. Struck him out with a fastball. Lead stays 3-1. Ohtani has to wait for the ninth. Eighth inning at the Tokyo Dome. Dodgers leading 3-1. Ben Kasparius gives way to Blake Treinen. And Treinen, who has dealt with so many injury issues, the shoulder stuff, hit by a comebacker in spring training in March of last year, a couple of broken ribs, and Blake Treinen back on the hill and ready to go for the 2025 season. And when he is healthy and he is good, he is lethal, AJ, like that.
Oh, that is an understatement. His sweeper we just saw right there to Amaya is one of the nastiest sweepers in the game as we look back at Amaya's RBI double, the one highlight so far for the Cubs. But his sinker sweeper combo is one of the best. 97, 98, boring in on righties, and then he throws the sweeper off of it and just is nasty.
193 ERA last year because of that thing.
This is what makes him so good. He has balls that go both ways. One goes to the right, in on righties. One goes to the left, away on this slider sweeper. See Amaya way out front after seeing 97 in on his hands. Blake Treinen, one of many heroes for the Dodgers last year in their World Series run.
That is not a ball. I mean,
it was, according to Bill Miller, but yeah.
Blake Treinen, 3 games in that Padres series, and they needed every game to get that victory. That's tapped foul. It's going to be a strike. 3 games, 3 scoreless outings, 3 2/3. 9 total games in the postseason last year for Treinen.
And that is a turbo sinker right there. You see Birdie's reaction, just boring in on his hands at 97.
1-1. Oh, and it came in even farther that time. He gets hit by 97. That's why he reacted like he did to the previous pitch.
Another sinker here by Treinen. Just chases Birdie. There's nowhere for him to go. Hits him on that bottom hand. See his reaction. Now you got stolen base threat.
There's a strike. Throw down to second is not in time, and that is your stolen base threat. He is very willing to take off, and you know you get hit by a pitch, you're probably more likely to start the wheels, right?
Well, that and John Birdie's fast as all get out, so he's just going to go. He gets a huge jump. Treinen paying no attention. His run does not tie the game. Treinen's focused on the hitter. Birdie steals this bag easily. Will Smith, no chance.
Birdie led the league with 41 of them in 2022. He, before the rule changes happened, was one guy, a rare guy, who really started the engines quite a bit. Seiya Suzuki is next in a possible huge spot. Fouled away by Happ, 1-2. Dodgers got 3 in the 5th to take this standing 3-1 lead. It was a high breaking ball, and Happ sprays it foul.
That was a sweeper, not the cutter. Treinen also has a little cutter that'll mix into lefties. That was more of a sweeper. It still got in enough to break Happ's bat. He's got to go get new lumber. Just shows you how effective he can be when he is on. It is the X that people talk about, Jason, when they talk about pitching. Have the ball go 2 different ways across home plate. The tunneling where it comes out of his hand the same. One goes left, one goes right. You have to choose as a hitter which one it is. Actually, you have to kind of guess once you see it.
He's come inside to Happ. The entire sequence. 1-2. Out, away, strike 3, 2 down. So here is Suzuki as the tying run in this game in the bottom of the 8th. Enormous spot for the native of Japan, not far from the Tokyo Dome. Suzuki now 4 years removed from his time playing in Japan. Flinches and a sharp breaker for strike 1. His command of the strike zone is what in large part brought him to Major League Baseball. He will have to use it against Blake Treinen here with a runner at second, 2 down. And he slices one foul, 1-2.
I think the crowd wants him to get a hit.
You feeling that?
You hear the reaction. You hear the reaction when he's fouled that ball off. A lot of cheers, a lot of screams, because they want their guys. They want their guys to get the hits.
1-2. Left side and right at Muncy to retire the side. So the Dodgers skate through the 8th with a lead of 2. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand, plus stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Ryan Brazier is in. Shohei Ohtani up in the 9th inning in his home country, and he loads up to take ball 1. It's his first 9th inning at bat for Ohtani as a playable Fortnite character. He's now in the game as part of the Icon series in Fortnite for all the kids to play as Shohei Ohtani, who just takes a massive hack.
He did take a massive hack. He was just a little bit late on this little cutter from Brazier, his former teammate in spring training.
Way back in the day. Ryan Brazier's got really good stuff.
He does. He had a great year for the Dodgers last year, and I mean, his slider was really good. His fastball is really good. He's mainly a 2-pitch guy. He relies heavily on that slider and cutter.
Like that. Brazier's year in 23, his first year with the Dodgers, he gave up 3 earned runs in 38 2/3. That pencils out to a .7 ERA. Ohtani reaches down to get that ball and ship it into right field. To the thrill of 45,000 plus, it's a leadoff double for Ohtani. Just one move is all it takes to get the crowd riled up.
And just a little bit of a hanging breaking ball here, Jason, that he goes down and gets. He's seen a ton of breaking balls in this game. And this is one he's out in front, but he hooks it. He's one of the best at keeping his barrel in the zone for a long time. Just hooks this ball down the right field corner and an easy stand-up double, and he gets to do the palm tree dance.
Ground ball, second base, but Ohtani gets to third. Gamble over there at third with a word for Ohtani. Here's a look at his ninth inning victory royale.
There's the breaking ball. Watch how long his bat stays in the zone. That's how he's able to reach. Plus he's 6'5" and just has a longer reach than most human beings. Let's not discount the importance of what Edman did. He got a fastball out over the plate and rolled it over to get Ohtani to third for Teoscar to have a chance to drive him in with less than 2 outs. Now the infield's got to come in for the Cubs.
That ball is laced to left field, and the Dodgers do get the run. That ball was in off the plate, and Hernandez turned and burned on it.
See Dave Roberts right there. See what he ran and did? He didn't give Ohtani a high five. He gave Tommy Edman a high five. That is so awesome because he was on third with less than 2 outs for Teoscar, who was looking for a pitch he could elevate. He gets a heater in off the plate, bangs this ball into left field. Another insurance run for the Dodgers.
Did you see AJ on the replay we just had where he met that ball out in front of the plate so it didn't travel further in on him?
Well, if it would have got any farther in on him, probably would have hit. It could have possibly hit him. That ball was tracking and he just beat it to the spot.
Well, now officially you can say the fans who came to the Tokyo Dome for this game got everything they wanted to see. Maybe
What was
with
the last
exception
check
of
mark? What
well,
was
the
the last
Ohtani
check mark?
double, like a hard hit baseball to lead off an inning for Ohtani. The spotlight was on him. He led off the inning and he got himself a double.
Well, don't forget Imanaga dealing, Yamamoto dealing on opening day.
Yep.
They get Roki Sasaki tomorrow, his homecoming after pitching in Japan as recently as last year.
Yeah, basically everything you'd want as a fan of Japanese baseball, you've seen.
You know what they love? The sack bunt, and Major League Baseball doesn't sack bunt a lot. They love the sack bunt over there also, Jason. They missed that because Major League Baseball guys don't sack bunt anymore.
It's true. It's true. It is a big difference in the culture of baseball as it stands right now. And Samurai Japan in the Tokyo Olympics that got pushed to 2021 won a couple of very close, low-scoring games down the stretch to that gold medal by doing that sort of thing. Action starting again in the Dodger bullpen. Tanner Scott likely to be the guy to close this thing out, depending on what the score is when there's a baseball to be handed to a reliever in the bottom of the ninth.
I think he's in. You see Mark Pryor, the pitching coach, and Dave Roberts discussing it. He's up, he's hot. They only have 2 games in a row. Then you get a bunch of off days before the season kicks back in the States. I think Tanner Scott, one of their new weapons, is back in.
Even 8-1, 9-1, just in case, just because of the situation of the schedule, you think?
Yes. Want to get him out there, want to get him in a game.
3-2. That's low. It's ball 4, so no chance to throw out Hernandez. Third walk for Will Smith in the ball game, and Muncy gets a chance to drive in a run. Mentioned earlier, but for those folks who might have been sleeping when we were talking about it, tweet from Sarah Langs, S. Langs on Sports of Major League Baseball, the great researcher. If Max Muncy gets a hit in Japan one of the next 2 days, he would be one of 4 guys with a hit in 5 countries or territories. He's got a hit in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and South Korea as he fouls a ball away 1-1. How many countries do you have a hit in, AJ?
Does Japan count in the offseason? And if I can count that, then I got 3 in Puerto Rico's a territory, right? So I got 4.
We'll count the offseason. We'll count any time you've been there. If you played baseball, even disorganized baseball, we'll count it.
And we'll throw Hawaii in just for fun, just so I can say I got more than max.
We will not. That is a state. 2 balls and a strike. Yamamoto was brilliant for the Dodgers on the mound today, by the way. 2-2. So here are the international games outside of the United States to this point, and it really has been fantastic. You've been to London, I know.
Yes, these games are incredible. What Major League Baseball does to grow the game internationally, and they do these games early in the year, obviously because of the schedule situation. But the fans in these countries love it. The London series was incredible last year. The Mets and Phillies put on a show. Bryce Harper, remember the home run with the soccer celebration.
Great.
The excitement, though. The excitement in London was off the charts, Jason. Walking around in the pubs and in the restaurants, you just saw fans of baseball, and it's great in a country like England that is not known for its baseball history to see the fans come out and love it.
3-2 fouled away. What was the crowd like? What did it feel like? Was it like a soccer crowd to you? What was it?
It felt like a playoff game atmosphere because they were into every pitch, and I don't know if they knew exactly what was happening all the time, but they were into every pitch.
Strike 3, strong, sharp slider from Brazier, and 2 down.
Really nice pitch here by Brazier. This is a nasty slider cutter. After all the fastballs they had thrown Muncy, to back that up with that pitch. See the frustration on Muncy's face. Good setup by Brazier and Amaya to finally put Muncy away.
Well, Muncy, in 4 of his trips to the plate, has seen 31 pitches. And the ground out in the 7th inning, he was like, hey, tendency breaker. He grounded out on the first pitch.
Well, throw in Will Smith's at bats too. Muncy's seen 32 pitches. Will Smith has seen 29. That's 61 pitches between 2 of them in the order, in the Dodgers order. That is how you pitch count a pitcher right out of the game.
And it happens over and over again. It's one of the superhero strengths of this team for the Dodgers is that they just absolutely erode pitching in a series. The Cubs in the 9th will have Tucker, Bush, and Shaw coming up. And they hope that it's only 4-1. Remember, game 2 of this series, same time tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern time, 3 a.m. Pacific. Freddie Freeman out of the lineup with rib discomfort today. He was a very late scratch.
Yeah, thanks, Freddie. Ex-teammate of mine ruined my scorebook already. First game of the year.
It was, what, about 40 minutes before first pitch he got scratched?
Yeah, it stinks. It really does, because you never want to see anybody get hurt. Especially a player of Freddie's caliber, but anybody in general, especially that late before the game start.
Two and two. Wrapped foul. Once you leave spring training, you just want to play, right? The one thing in life you want is to just play real baseball.
Well, you build up for the opening day, whether it's in Japan or in the States. And then you get there, and then to have something like that happen, it's disheartening. Another full count for these Dodger hitters. It's like every guy goes up there and it's 3-2. They should almost just start 3-2. It seems like the whole game has been 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
Muncy ran 4 full counts. Bill Miller says wait until he's in the box. One more piece of administrative justice before we go. 3-2 coming. High into that white roof, right side, and playable for Bush from first. Ohtani led off with a double. He came home after the dance off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. Dodgers by 3. 4-1 Dodgers over the Cubs, and free agent signee Tanner Scott out of the bullpen for Dave Roberts. The league slugged as left-handers. Left-handers slugged 191 against him last year. That's a line drive, and I don't know that Conforto saw it cleanly because he turned away as the ball came in. He made the catch for out number 1, though.
Well, Tanner Scott was ridiculously good last year. Whatever uniform he had on. You mentioned the slugging. His fastball, which Kyle Tucker flew out on that first pitch, they hit 134 against Jason, the best in baseball. So he has the best fastball in baseball. He also has one of the best sliders in baseball. This is why the Dodgers and every other team wanted him, but of course the Dodgers went out and got him.
And they got him to neutralize left-handers and right-handers both, but you see Justin Turner pinch hitting. Bush is out of the game in part because those fastball numbers are even worse for left-handed batters. Lefty batters were 2 for 31 against Tanner Scott's fastball last year.
He didn't hit any. Nobody hit Tanner Scott last year.
Nobody hit it. No, you're right.
Lefties, righties. He was one of the best relievers in the game. And the Cubs are going to try Justin Turner making his Cub debut in the 9th inning, trying to get something going. They're what, 0 for their last 19 against all Dodger pitching.
Yeah, the only base runner in that whole stretch you're talking about was Birdie, who got plunked in the 8th. Big Red takes a ball inside, 2-2. The ageless wonder, Justin Turner, who made his debut in 2009. He is 40 now as he gets ready for season number 17 in the big leagues. Shohei Ohtani, 10 years his junior. Yamamoto, 4 years younger than Ohtani. Imanaga right in between at 31. 2-2, fly ball in the air, right center field. The crowd thought it was hit better. Pages makes the catch, and there are 2 away.
I want to know what's going through Roki Sasaki's mind, sitting behind Ohtani right there. He's thinking, I get to start tomorrow in a place I'm familiar with, the Tokyo Dome. Yamamoto dealt today. Can I follow it up in my Dodger debut tomorrow?
23 years old. Former Chibalote pitcher who had an ERA under 2.5 last year. He was the hot item on the free agent market. The Dodgers, like they did with Tanner Scott, went to go get Sasaki. And we'll see him coming up tomorrow at the Tokyo Dome. Shaw swings through a Scott fastball, 0-2.
I wonder if that was part of the pitch from the Dodgers to Sasaki. Hey, we're going to Japan next year. You're going to get a chance maybe to pitch and make your debut in the Tokyo Dome, a place you're very familiar with. That would have worked, I feel like. One of many positives.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Dodgers pitching was overwhelming behind hometown hero Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Ohtani delivers a couple of hits, and the Dodgers win 4-1 in the MLB opener of 2025.
Well, dominant pitching by the Dodgers was the story. 2 hits by Shohei, but Yamamoto and then the Dodger bullpen. Lights out. What they do, their depth overwhelms you. Just a great way to open the season if you're a Dodger fan. If the Cubs, there's tomorrow.
I Love LA has made it to Tokyo. Dodgers win 4-1 against the Cubs. Shohei Ohtani in his return to Japan in an MLB uniform gives the Dodgers a 4-1 final, and we will wrap it up when we come back. The defending champs are 1-0 in the 2025 season, and they do it across the Pacific at the Tokyo Dome. Shohei Ohtani 2 for 5 in the game with 2 of the 4 hardest hit balls all day.
Well, exactly what you would expect. Shohei Ohtani, of course, gets the first hit of the Dodger season. Then he gets the double in the 9th inning to score the 4th run. And a great job by him, a great job by Yamamoto back in their home country. And just a dominant first game from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
The Cubs' last hit in the game was a leadoff Ian Happ single in the 3rd on the infield. And a grand total of 3 hits against Yamamoto, and that was it for the Cubs. Tomorrow, Roki Sasaki makes his long-awaited Major League Baseball debut. He'll face Justin Steele of the Cubs, who had a very, very nice season last year.
Well, he's the second best pitcher. You could say he's 1B for the Chicago Cubs. They need a big start from him. And then I am very interested to see what Roki Sasaki brings to the table. We've heard about him for years. Here he's making his Major League debut. I want to see that splitter in person.
And we will see it coming up tomorrow. AJ, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jason.
From the Tokyo Dome, the Dodgers get the victory in front of Pikachu and in front of 45,000 thrilled fans. And so tomorrow, don't forget to join us 6 a.m. Eastern Time over on FS1. Adam Amin will be in with AJ Pierzynski. For our entire crew, our producer Brian Colucci, our director Brian Biederman. For AJ Pierzynski, I'm Jason Benetti. Dodgers win it 4-1. Join us for Game 2 on FS1 tomorrow.